a blade nearly 8 feet long, with a chemistry that contradicts its era. A human-shaped impression locked in granite millions of years old. An 800-ton stone moved by forces no simulation can replicate. 7 discoveries history cannot explain, not because evidence is lacking, but because what it reveals has been quietly dismissed. It begins with a sword that should not exist. Inside a climate-controlled vault in Kiev, a sword stretches across a display case. It measures 2.4 meters from tip to pommel, forged from iron so massive that no known warrior could have wielded it in battle. The museum tag reads NMUA 2015-07, yet the artifact's own features speak louder than any label. Its surface is layered with a dark mineral-rich patina, flecked with chloride and sulfate, hinting at centuries buried deep in the earth. Under a scanning electron microscope, the blade's grain orientation runs in long, unbroken lines, interrupted by pockets of slag and carbon, 0.12% by weight, far lower than typical bloomery steel. X-ray fluorescence reveals phosphorus traces, but the expected pattern of lead isotopes, so crucial for pinpointing ancient ore sources, is missing from the record. Even the charcoal found beneath the sword, radiocarbon dated to 3,200 years before present, cannot anchor the blade's true origin. The museum's metallurgical report notes slag inclusions and hammer marks that defy regional typologies, while experimental forgeries have failed to replicate the longitudinal structure. Could these be traces of a forgotten civilization? Were ancient humans more advanced than we think? Or are these discoveries being misunderstood? For now, the sword remains an enigma. Its chemistry and context are at odds with the history written in textbooks, daring us to question what else might be missing from the story of our past. A shallow impression in a granite outcrop near Ridgway State Park has ignited debate far beyond the quiet woods of Pennsylvania. The depression measures 28 centimeters across and sinks 5 centimeters into the bedrock, its outline uncannily similar to a human foot, yet set in stone formed long before humans are thought to have existed. Field geomorphologists arrived with a laser scanner, capturing a digital mesh of the feature at sub-millimeter accuracy. Their archive preserves every ridge and curve, revealing a depth profile that tapers at the heel, with a rim smoothed and polished to a gloss. Petrographic thin sections from the rim show a quartz feldspar matrix nearly indistinguishable from the surrounding granite, challenging any notion of recent carving. Some propose the footprint is the result of Tafoni weathering, a slow process driven by water and mineral salts exploiting ancient joints in the rock. Others point to the geometry, the symmetry, the arch, the toe-like bulges, as evidence that surface processes can mimic biology in ways that confound expectation. No radiometric date anchors the impression, though a cosmogenic beryllium-10 exposure test has been proposed to determine how long the surface has lain open to the sky. For now, the question remains, could this be a relic of a forgotten epoch? A sign that ancient humans were present when they should not have been? Or is it a case of nature producing forms that we are too eager to interpret? The granite holds its secret, and the story of human origins remains unfinished. At Baalbek, the stones themselves seem to defy the limits of ancient engineering. The largest podium blocks weigh close to 800 tons each, which is more than a modern diesel locomotive, and yet they rest, perfectly aligned, atop the Roman temple's foundation. LiDAR elevation models reveal a critical detail. The quarry sits 15 meters higher than the temple site, separated by just under 1 kilometer of ancient roadway. This topographic advantage is more than a footnote. It means gravity could have aided the final descent, but only after a monumental effort to free and maneuver each block from the quarry face. Archaeological engineering teams have mapped every contour of the terrain, feeding the data into finite element simulations. The results are staggering. To move a single 800-ton stone on a greased wooden sled would require a pulling force of 30 meganewtons, equivalent to the combined strength of thousands of laborers or a team of 150 oxen, all coordinated with exacting precision. Even with gravity lending a hand, the mechanical constraints push the boundaries of what is considered possible with Bronze Age technology. No written record describes the labor organization or the methods used. The unfinished monoliths at the quarry, frozen mid-extraction, hint at a process that may have been abandoned or lost. Could these be traces of a forgotten civilization? Were ancient humans more advanced than we think? Or are these discoveries being misunderstood? The numbers are real. The mystery remains, carved into stone, daring us to admit that history may still be incomplete. In the conservation lab of the Egyptian Museum, a pair of granite sarcophagi stand silent beneath harsh LED lights. Each block measures just over 2 meters in length, carved from a single mass of stone so dense that even diamond saws struggle to cut its surface. The lids rest atop the boxes with a tolerance measured at just 2 millimeters, so precise that not even a razor blade slips between. Under magnification, the tool marks are sharp and regular, running in long, shallow grooves. No evidence of rotary cutting appears in the microscopic slides, only the V-shaped gouges typical of hand-driven abrasives and copper chisels. Petrographic analysis of thin sections reveals a fine-grained granite, rich in zircon and feldspar, its mineral signature matching the Aswan quarries nearly 800 kilometers to the south. Inductively, coupled plasma mass spectrometry confirms trace elements, zirconium, thorium, and rare earths, consistent with late predynastic stonework. The geochemical fingerprint leaves little doubt about the stone's origin, but the method of transport and the technology behind such perfect surfaces remain open questions. Despite the exterior perfection, the interiors of these coffins have never been seen. The lids are sealed, their contents hidden since the dawn of the First Dynasty. Calls for non-invasive imaging, CT scans, and ultrasonic mapping echo through the museum's corridors, but no such studies have been published. The mystery deepens. What lies inside these untouched chambers? What secrets might high-resolution scans reveal? Could these be traces of a forgotten civilization? Were ancient humans more advanced than we think? Or are these discoveries being misunderstood? For now, the granite keeps its silence, and the story of Egypt's earliest rulers remains locked behind stone, daring us to admit that history may still be incomplete. A bold headline from the Allegheny Ledger in May 1860 announced the unearthing of a skeleton of astonishing size, a femur measuring 35 centimeters, far longer than the average for any known population. The specimen, accessioned as ANR 1860-01, entered the American Academy of Natural Sciences with a flurry of excitement. Yet the paper trail begins to blur almost immediately. The original osteometric sheet, once cataloged in the Anthropology Ledger, survives only as a torn fragment, the rest lost to time. A single hand-drawn outline and the number 35 remain, hinting at a giant that never quite materialized. Archivists searching through microfilmed ledgers and reclassification notes found a memo from July 1903, penned by Dr. H.B. Miller. The note quietly transferred ANR 1860-01 from human remains to indeterminate megafaunal fragment. No chain of custody form survives, and the specimen itself vanished from the museum's catalogs soon after. Decades later, a forensic anthropologist uncovered a faded remeasurement. The bone's proportions matched those seen in severe pituitary gigantism, a rare but documented pathology. The femur's length, while remarkable, fell within the upper extremes of known human variation, no longer evidence of a separate race, but of a medical anomaly. The story of the giant skeleton dissolves under scrutiny, replaced by a case file of missing paperwork and clinical explanations. Yet the absence of the original bone, the missing accession forms, and the silence of official records have only fueled speculation. Could these be traces of a forgotten civilization? Were ancient humans more advanced than we think? Or are these discoveries being misunderstood? The ledger closes, but the mystery lingers, reminding us that history, too, is sometimes incomplete. On a laboratory bench in Lima, two skulls rest beneath the clinical glow of CT imaging. Their dimensions stretch the limits of human variation, the cranial index measured at 52, with vaults elongated far beyond the norm. The bone reveals a story written in increments, uniform remodeling of the frontal and occipital plates, each contour shaped by years of deliberate binding. These are not the marks of pathology, but the signatures of a cultural practice, crafted with intention and precision. Strontium isotope analysis, 0.7082, places the childhood origins of these individuals in the highland valleys, aligning them with the Wari and Tiwanaku elite. Yet the question of ancestry lingers. Preliminary ancient DNA reads exist, but no full sequence has been published. Without this data, claims of a genetic anomaly remain unproven, their status suspended between speculation and science. Could these be traces of a forgotten civilization? Were ancient humans more advanced than we think? Or are these discoveries being misunderstood? Until the genomes are released, the mystery endures, and the story of our origins remains incomplete. Massive stone blocks, buried under centuries of silt, have sparked a fierce debate over their true age. Optically stimulated luminescence testing of infill, wedged between the stones, produced a date of 9,600 years, older than any known agriculture in the region. But critics question the sampling, noting that loose grains can slip down through cracks, skewing results. On the stones themselves, a 4-centimeter weathering rind tells a different story, because lab calibration shows only 2,000 years of exposure. Stratigraphic logs complicate things further, revealing 3 separate repair horizons, each with unique soil and tool fragments. The contradiction between OSL dating and weathering evidence remains unresolved. Until new controlled samples are taken, the true age of this foundation remains hidden. Today, these anomalies linger at the edges of accepted history, raising more questions than answers. Could these be traces of a forgotten civilization? Were ancient humans more advanced than we think? Or are these discoveries being misunderstood? The official record remains unsettled. Sometimes the greatest mystery is what is still missing.